In this tutorial, we are going to build an NFT dApp. There will be a button to mint to connect your wallet. You'll be able to set up the mint price and the total number of your NFTs. And just to preface this, I'm not a developer. I just know enough to make this exact thing work. So if I can do it, you can do it too. There are a couple of prerequisites that we have in the docs that you will need to have installed before getting started. So there is Node.js, which is a runtime environment for JavaScript, which is very common for blockchain development and different dApps. Hardcat example is a project sample. You don't have to use this one. You can, of course, develop your own, but it's useful to start with an example one. So you have like a skeleton, so to say. Next one is Quai.js, which is an SDK or a development kit to work with Quai network and interact with the blockchain. OpenZeppelin is just a bunch of tools to help you develop with Solidity, which has some pre-built contracts in there. Next one is Next.js, which is just a JavaScript framework for building up dApps, actually. That's going to be used for building our NFT dApp itself. And then Chakra UI is for the UI, for the user interface of our web page where people are going to go and mint the NFT. So let's get started. And yeah, here it's a pretty comprehensive tutorial that we have in the docs that you can open and work with me side by side. Before starting this, I downloaded VS Code. I use macOS. I just downloaded it for macOS from the website. I downloaded the Node.js from just here from the website as well. I'll leave all the links and they will be in the tutorial as well. Everything in the description under this video. And then you'll also need Pelagus wallet with some Quai in there for gas fees. However, the gas fees are very low, like 0.03 Quai or something, so you don't need too much. And if you don't have any, you can go and request it in the Quai faucet. So that's faucet.quai.network. And now let's open up VS Code and start building everything out. I'm going to just be copy-pasting a lot of things. However, you can also clone the repository if you don't want to go through everything. I will leave the link to the repository in the description below. And let's open up a new terminal and get started. First, we are going to create a development environment called DevSpace. You can, of course, call it something else. However, if you're just starting out, I recommend keeping the names as close to the tutorial as possible because some of the file names are interlinked. Then we can initialize our app with a Next.js. So we can run the npx create Next.js app. And this opens up several commands. We just press agree to everything and start with some settings. The app name, I'm just going to call it my app. It doesn't really matter. Choose your own. And I will just choose the defaults here. So yes to TypeScript, yes, 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 no, no. You basically saw it yourself. Now that our app is initialized, we can open it in VS Code. So we go to open as a folder. And we find it in the dev space. That's called my app that I just created. And here we are. As you can see here, there are already a bunch of files and folders that Next.js pre-installed for us, which is very convenient. And there are actually even more things that we can pre-install with OpenZeppelin tools and contracts. So we are going to be using Hardhat example as a reference for our ERC721 or NFT smart contract. However, we are going to install some of the dependencies ourselves and just use that for reference. So we use npm to install what we need, the tools from OpenZeppelin. So once we opened it, my app, we open up another terminal and we make sure to, as you can see, we are in my app. And here we start installing the dependencies, the tools, everything that's basically mentioned in the tutorial. Then we will also need .env. This .env is needed for managing any kind of environment files. And we're also going to need Hardhat. Hardhat is used for deploying the application to the chain. So once you build out the app, the smart contract app, then you compile it and then you deploy it. That's kind of the whole process. And then the last but not the least dependency we're going to install in this particular folder is npm i Quais. The Quais is the SDK for Quai network, as I already mentioned. And now we can initialize a project with npx hardhat init. And here it's also just using the defaults. We would like a JavaScript project. We choose the same root repository project root that we chose before, and we add a git ignore. And now we can continue building out the contract. So we start by building out a hardhat config file. So we copy the configuration file from the docs, and we paste it in this hardhat config that was pre-installed for us. So just choose it all and replace it fully. And then click Command S or any other way to save it to make sure you save everything as you go. However, VS Code also saves many things automatically. Then we can continue and build out our environment file. And that is going to be in the just my app. Here you create a new file and then call it .env.local. And in this .env.local, you paste in the sample file. And here you're going to need to replace a couple of things, such as the Cypress1 PK, which stands for private key, and initial owner, which is the public address or your wallet address of the wallet you would like to use. You just open up Pelagus and click copy right here, and you replace initial owner. Let me just open it up a bit more with this. And then to get your private key, you click on this arrow down, then on these three dots, export private key, and you click copy key, and that's also good to go. There is nothing else to replace. The next file here is the deploy ERC721 file that we are going to paste in the scripts. Right now there is no folder called scripts, so we're going to create this folder. And in here we're going to create a file deploy ERC721.js. And we copy paste the file. You don't need to change anything in the deployment file. However, what you might want to change is going to be in the contracts. So in the contracts right now, there is just log sol, which we don't need. We can just delete it. And we're going to create a new file that's going to be called erc721.sol. And here we are going to copy paste the file from the tutorial, and I'll explain you a couple of things that are that can be useful for you to change. Let's open it up full screen. And here we are. So here we have the line called token IDs. So token IDs usually start with 0. I don't recommend you to change it to anything. That's just the default for most applications, how they're built. Then the mint price is 5 Ether. This is up to you, how much you want to have it. I can set it up for, let's say, 1. That's going to be 1 Quai. 5 means 5 Quai, so you can set it as anything you want yourself, and people will have to pay either 1 or 5 or whatever you set it to mint any NFT that you list on this website. And then public supply is 10,000, and that's the regular number. We're going to leave it at 10,000 for this tutorial. And here we also have the name and the ticker for your NFT collection, I guess. Yeah, at this point it's a collection, but you can also launch for just one NFT, why not? And then the last thing, there is a function called withdraw. And here in the withdraw, it is a function that is only callable by the owner contract of the contract. That is what we set up in the environment file. So as an owner, you'll be able to go to that web interface, click withdraw button, and then withdraw all the funds that people put into this contract when minting your NFTs. So let's say somebody went on, paid 1, 5, whatever, Quai to mint your NFTs, and then only you as the owner will be able to go and withdraw that from the contract. That's pretty basic how it is all set up in the interface. However, at least you have this button to make sure it works and you have it somewhere. Now we can go ahead and compile our contract. So that's just in the compile and deploy the smart contract section. You copy it and just paste this in. If everything was correct, you have the Solidity files successfully compiled. You likely have more. It starts with 20, but I'm deploying it a couple of times, so I may have fewer files. Then the next one, we are going to run the scripts to deploy our contracts. So let's run the npx hardhat run, the script to deploy. This broadcasted a transaction, and then it's going to give us a contract address. We'll be able to find that contract address in the Quai scan and see that it has been deployed successfully. So let's go to Quai scan and actually check it out. So I just copied my contract address, contract deployed to, and we paste this address in a Quai scan, and we see that everything is successful, which is good to see. You might want to save this contract address somewhere because it will be useful in the future. So you can create like this kind of variable in the environment files. You don't have to do it, it won't affect anything, it's just useful to have it somewhere. The next section in the docs is showing you how to build out the dApp. Before we start, we're going to just install some dependencies again. So these are for basically the user interface of our web page. So let's open up a new terminal to make it look cleaner. And we just paste the commands. All undone, we only needed 2 of these, and we're going to start building everything out here ourselves by copy and pasting it from the tutorial again. So we're going to go to the source folder, and here we go into the app. In the app, we're going to create 2 files that are going to be used for managing the wallet state during the interaction with the app. So one of them is going to be called store.tsx. So in the app, we create a new file called store.tsx. Into this, we copy-paste the tutorial file and make sure to save. You don't need to change anything here. You can continue to just copy-pasting another file called providers. Also, in the app, we create a file called and we paste it in. Once that's done, there are a couple of more. There are actually quite a few more files that we are just going to copy paste. I'm not going to show you how to customize your app in this video. This is just a very basic tutorial. However, if you'd like that, I recommend you to probably go check out somebody else's YouTube channel because I'm not a developer. So right in the app, we are creating the thing called additional.d.ts, that's TypeScript, and we copy the file from the tutorial and paste it in. We close out the app, we open components. And when you open it up, it by default opens a user interface. So make sure you click on components instead of user interface and create a new file that is going to be called utils.typescript. And we are copy pasting it. And then we are going to create a wallet. So this is going to be a folder for the wallet interaction and some of the buttons on there. So it's going to be in the components. We create a new folder. It's going to be called wallet. And in this wallet folder, we call the file request accounts.typescript. And we copy the same file. So in the wallet, create another file called useGetAccounts.typescript. And we, again, just copy pasting it. After this, we're going to need the index in here that allows us to index the functions that we installed in the wallet. So new file index.ts. And we are almost done. That's actually getting very close. And we're going to start building out the layout of our application. So we can close the wallet and components, open up the app again, and go into the layout that is already here. The file is pre-populated with some stuff. However, we are going to replace all that with what's the default. It's kind of example file in the tutorial. So just copy paste and save what we have there. And we're also going to create a new file called connect button for our wallet connect. So the connect button is going to be also in the app. And we create a new file, paste. Then we go into the page. And here we also have some pre-populated files. We just remove those and we replace them with something we have in the tutorial. Once you paste it in, you're basically done. You can go ahead and see what you just built with the npm run dev. You open up a new tab and go to localhost 3000. It's probably not the sexiest app you've seen, however, it is functional and that's what we need. As you can see, my wallet is already connected. That's because I tested out the app before. You probably are going to have a connect button in here. Then you see that the total supply is 10,000 remaining, and then the mint price is what we set it to be on Quai. Let's try to mint an NFT and see whether everything works. So we go here, sign a transaction. There we go, we had a success written on the Quai scan. And when we go back here and we reload the web page, we see that there are 9,999 NFTs remaining and one is owned by our wallet address. I can assure you that the withdraw function also works because I just tested it out like 5 times before recording this video. So just trust me on this one. Or you can go try to build it yourself and test it out. Anyways, that's all I wanted to show you in this tutorial. If there are any other tutorials you would like to see, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions or need support, please reach out to Quai Dev Discord or Quai Networks Discord, and we'll try to help you out. And also check out the Quai grants that are in the Twitter articles for Quai Network. I'll leave the links in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.